2,000 trucks, 3,500 trailers, 4,000 drivers. Iconic haulage firm Eddie Stobart delivers the goods that help keep the nation running.
Yeah, go, go, go. Deliveries have to be made.
It's a high-pressure industry, haulage.
But it's not just roads that they want to conquer. This year, their rail division is on track for major expansion. And their ambitions for newly acquired London Southend Airport are taking off.
We spent something like 78 million on state-of-the-art technology to make this airport.
But trucking still remains at the heart of the business, so the wheels need to keep on moving.
This is all we need.
Problems. There's always a problem.
Yes, it has been the day from hell.
But if anyone could do it,
You just got to laugh at it, haven't you, really?
the truckers can.
Still smiling.
Coming up, Stobart move a famous London landmark, but it's not all bright lights for driver Lee.
Now take a complete and utter wild guess of where I'm going.
A Stobart superstar is born,
All the fan mail I get, people want to marry me.
and the firm holds its first ever trucking extravaganza.
My teacher says when I'm older I want to be a truck driver for Eddie Stobart.
But run into trouble.
We need to find a bigger venue. If we don't get this day right, it could really backfire on us.
Since the company's humble beginnings in the 1960s, when they carried fertiliser for Cumbrian farmers, the Stobart fleet has rocketed from one truck to over 2,000. Now they transport everything from horses to Formula One racing cars. It's something company boss William Stobart is proud of.
We get asked to haul and warehouse all kinds of stuff. There's no job too small or too large that we can't do.
So when a tough collection comes in, they have a pool of experienced drivers to choose from.
You've got to keep your head about you because you do not want to have an accident. You don't want to hit anything.
35-year-old Lee Dowling has been a Stobart driver trainer for almost 3 years.
It is good actually to get into the truck every now and again and to actually get out onto the road. I'm really looking forward to it actually.
Lee's based out of the largest Stobart depot, Crick, in the Midlands. It's just one of 42 Stobart sites throughout the UK, Ireland and Europe. But today he's 90 miles south in London, where he's been drafted in to carry out a special job. He's moving a famous London landmark, two of Piccadilly's iconic advertising light displays.
They're coming down, ready for the London Olympics, so they can put up some new digital ones.
But this is no ordinary driving job. It means taking his 33-foot truck right through one of the busiest places on earth, Piccadilly Circus.
So my task today is to drive this down into London, find where to park, and then they're going to lower these lights on cranes. So let's go for it.
From the Stobart depot in Park Royal, northwest London, Lee will travel 7 miles into the West End, where he'll collect the lights, which have been packed into 64 boxes. With 2 days to do the job, he needs to make 3 runs per day, collecting 12 boxes on each run. So Brummy Lee has his work cut out.
If you take a wrong turn around there, it's trying to get back to where I need to go, so, and I don't know the area too well, so I'm not from these parts. Everyone's in a rush in London. Everybody's in a rush. Everyone wants to get to work, so unfortunately, so do I.
And right on cue, as he approaches central London...
Traffic. There we go. Oh, get it down there. It's just a massive bright lights. I'm averaging 5 miles an hour.
Despite traffic jams, it's vital that jobs are completed on time.
If not, we can then incur charges, which we don't want as a company. And also, we want to keep the customer happy. At the end of the day, we need to keep these contracts. It's really hard out there at the moment.
But it's not only the traffic that he's got to worry about. He can only collect between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m.
We've got noise restrictions in place down there. Central London, noise restrictions. I don't know how that figures, but there we go.
Eventually, the traffic on the A40, one of London's busiest arteries, starts to ease. But Lee's woes aren't over.
Sat-nav's just stopped. It's not working. It now thinks I'm going backwards.
Despite the technology malfunction, like any good Boy Scout, Lee has come prepared.
I printed some maps off the other day just to make myself a little bit familiar with the area. So I'm pretty much just going off of those. So in a minute, I need to turn right.
But Lee's planned turn is foiled.
And there you go. That was the turn-in that I wanted to take. Ah, frig. I'm now in a world of hurt. Now taking a complete and utter wild guess of where I'm going. It's not going according to plan at the moment.
30 minutes behind schedule, and Lee's now heading into East London. Piccadilly Circus is the other way.
I wouldn't say I was lost, I just don't know where I'm going.
But experienced trucker Lee has a sense of direction that rivals a homing pigeon.
It's surprising that when you do get lost, where you can kind of figure out exactly where you've gone to get yourself back on track.
And before long, his inbuilt radar kicks in.
I think we may be heading in the right direction now.
And he soon has Piccadilly Circus in sight.
At the moment, you've got the iconic lights just up there.
But the West End's labyrinth-like maze of Victorian streets is a test.
I've got to try and find exactly where we're going.
With his homing mechanism working, he arrives at the street where he's picking up. But a pedestrian points out a fundamental error.
Oh dear.
The street is one way, and Lee has entered from the wrong end.
What I'm going to have to do now is what every driver absolutely detests.
A blindside reverse into a tight loading bay, with a queue of traffic waiting to pass.
I've just got to make sure that I don't hit these bollards. I've got no room here for manoeuvre now. But let's have a go.
Coming up, things go from bad to worse for Lee.
It's back to the drawing boards to figure out what we can do, because this is pretty much our smallest wagon that we've got on fleet.
And trucker Mark has an unusual request.
I want knickers. If anyone's got any size 10 knickers unused, then send them my way. French and pink.
Stobart driver Lee Dowling is collecting part of a world-famous London landmark, 2 of Piccadilly Circus's light displays, but he's having a nightmare. His pickup point is a tight loading bay on this narrow one-way street, which is driven down the wrong way. Now he has to reverse his 33-foot truck into it. The pressure is on.
As you can see, it's causing quite a few problems with regards to traffic.
A safety barrier in the road makes the turn tighter.
So I've got to do little micro manoeuvres. There's a nice big bollard down here. I am about 2 inches from that.
After a 12-point turn, the truck seems to be going.
Hopefully now we'll just swing it round. She'll follow me round.
But he's not done. Lee has to straighten up, and it's tight.
Millimetres we're talking here. I don't want to hit anything, as you can see.
And he's in.
Job's a good one.
But he's almost 2 hours late, and it hasn't gone unnoticed.
We was, but I took a bit of a detour. Say detour. These are the iconic lights that when you come down to London, you see on all the postcards. This is it.
So he better be careful with this precious cargo.
I don't want to be the person responsible for smashing the lights up.
Costing £100,000, the 2 displays, which have been up for 5 years, weigh almost 10 tonnes. Together they measure 400 square metres, a third of the size of an Olympic swimming pool. A team of contractors have dismantled each of the lights into a jigsaw of 374 panels, then carefully packed them into 64 boxes. It takes Lee almost an hour to manually load up with 12 boxes.
Please, thank you.
But there's 52 more to collect.
Get the hell out of here and then come back down here. Looking forward to that.
He arrives at the Stobart depot where the lights will be stored safely, but the first run took him twice as long as expected.
That's just taken us 4 hours to do the first trip.
It's just gone midday, so with only 2 days to do the job, he's straight back out.
I'm hoping it'll be a lot quicker.
Today, Lee's driving a 33-foot Mercedes Atego truck. Capable of carrying 5 tons at a time, it's fitted with a tail lift, making manual loading easier. It's the smallest transport vehicle in the Stobart fleet, so should, in theory, be perfect to handle the tight streets of London. But Lee's noticed a flaw.
The turning circle is not that great.
But he's feeling optimistic.
Get straight there, get them loaded, bosh, back out again.
This time he takes the right turning and even gets the chance for a bit of sightseeing.
So we're now going down Harley Street. It's where they all come to have their nose jobs and their things lifted and pushed up and this, that and the other. Don't need that myself.
But this could be the job that ages Lee. When he hits one of London's busiest shopping areas, Regent Street, it's a car park.
Rammed, innit? Proper congested round here, man. So in 11 minutes, we must have covered a whole massive 1,000 metres, do we reckon? Yeah. We've just not moved, it's just been stationary all the way, which is a pain in the whatnot, because this is all obviously eaten into what time I can come back down. It's not going according to plan. Must have been here a good 20 minutes now on Regency Street. Pretty much bored to death of Regency Street now. The traffic is just an absolute nightmare. Yeah, it took us a good 20 minutes to do about, what, 2,000 metres? I spy with my little eye.
Lee's travelled less than 2 miles in just under an hour, but he's finally on the move. Last time he drove down a one-way street the wrong way, so this time the site foreman is on hand to guide him in, but he guides him into trouble.
Oh, so we've got to go up there? These are not your average roads that you take one of these down. So we turn left somewhere.
But despite Lee having the smallest truck in the fleet, it's proving impossible.
I just cannot get past purely and simply because of the bollards. And even that car there, he's now struggling to get through there. So I've got no hope in this truck.
So he's forced to face his nemesis again, Regent Street.
It's not going according to plan at the moment. I don't know what's going to happen.
As a last resort, the site foreman is looking for a more accessible way in.
If that doesn't work, it's back to the drawing boards to figure out what we can do, because this is pretty much our smallest wagon that we've got on fleet. We haven't got anything else.
It's a contract worth thousands of pounds, and it's now hanging in the balance. Eddie Stobart has some of the most recognisable trucks on the road. These days, they're seen by many people as national treasures, with all of the 2,000 cabs having a different girl's name. It started in the 70s when boss William Stobart's older brother Edward decided to call their trucks after famous women.
One was called Twiggy, after the famous star at the time. Then he went on to name them after girlfriends, but once he got more than 2 trucks, he obviously had a problem.
It's a tradition that's led to a spotters club, which has now got over 20,000 official members. But it's not just the trucks that they want to see. It's also the truckers.
It's just message after message. I mean, this is my own personal Facebook now.
34-year-old Mark Dixon is one of Stobart's top drivers, and he's possibly the most famous, in no small part due to a certain TV show. Of course, we couldn't comment, but he could.
Kind of like Mark Dixon is probably the most well-known trucker in England, I suppose.
Mark's based out of Stobart's busiest depot, Crick, in the Midlands, where 250 trucks go in and out every day.
I've got my load up, got the paperwork. We're now going London. I don't like London, so I'm going. Bonjour.
From Crick, Mark's travelling 90 miles to Lewisham with his cargo of juice. There, he'll tip his load at a drinks wholesaler's. And even though he's not going anywhere near Lee, who's battling traffic in central London, Mark feels his pain.
Going to London ain't no jolly. I could get out and walk faster sometimes. It just does my head in. Send me Yorkshire. I like Yorkshire.
So to take his mind off the possible nightmare journey ahead, he talks about his favourite subject, himself.
I get a lot of attention in what I do, yeah. It's nice being a name. If someone says Mark Dixon, they know who I am. I'm not 400 or 500 a fleet number anymore.
Thanks to Facebook and Twitter, Mark isn't just clocking up the miles, he's also clocking up a fan base.
I never ever in my life thought I'd have a Facebook fan page. I've had random questions, people want to meet me, people call me a legend. A legend to me is Simon Cowell, something like that.
But does Mark have the X factor?
All the fan mail I get, people want to marry me and obviously think I'm great. But I've never had any knickers sent yet, and that's not fair, because when people on the stage singing, they get knickers and bras and all sorts thrown at them. I mean, I want knickers. I won't wear them or anything, it's just a laugh, innit? I'll put myself right now, won't I? Yeah, if anyone's got any size 10 knickers unused, then send them my way. French and pink.
But being a famous trucker can have its price.
Now, I don't mind signing autographs, but there's times when, you know, I just want to go to the services and have a cup of coffee and be the old Mark and not get bothered all the time.
But even a living Stobart legend has to do daily graft. By sticking to London's orbital road, the South Circular, he's made good time.
This is the place I want to be at now.
Whilst his 18 pallets of juice are unloaded at the wholesalers, Mark finds time to keep on top of his social network sites.
It's just message after message. Mark, I love you, we all love you. At Mark Dixon, we want to interview you. And then it goes on in German. So I can really understand that. Hi, how are you? Just goes on and on and on.
With his load tipped, Mark has to move on. He has a date with his fans at the biggest ever Stobart event.
I put fresh, clean pants on and, yeah, we're all right. Good to go. Or all the wives were throwing the knickers at me and stuff. The husbands were throwing the shoes at me. Take care. Another one done, just to walk in the park, yeah.
But someone who's not having a walk in the park is Lee Dowling. He's trying to collect his second batch of Piccadilly lights. 3 hours behind schedule, he still can't find a way into the pickup point.
Keep smiling their way.
And it's a good job, because Lee's being watched.
He must be a Stobart spotter and he's just waving at me.
Then news from the site foreman.
He's found another way in. The problem that we had when we came down here last time, we just cannot get around.
This is Lee's last chance to get in.
It's a little bit tight. And there we have it.
He had hoped this journey would take him 30 minutes.
So that's just taken us an hour and 44. Sweet.
With a 6 p.m. cut-off, he won't make a scheduled third run today. After this load, he'll have collected 24 of the 64 boxes, making it virtually impossible to do the job in 2 days. Then things go from bad to worse.
You serious?
Yeah.
Lee's got a parking ticket.
What? Why is that then? Why is he giving me a ticket? Apparently the front of my truck is about 3 inches past the pavement. Well, it's not even that, it must be about an inch. Welcome to London.
With his truck full, he can head back to the Stobart depot and carry on the job tomorrow. It's been a crazy day in the capital, but there's still time for one more surreal moment.
Is it me or is there a green man walking past? Seriously?
11 the next morning, and Lee's at the Stobart depot unloading his first batch of lights. He's been given special permission to stack the fragile boxes on top of each other, so he can carry twice as much. It's the lifeline he needed. But even though it's run like clockwork, almost half the day's gone. And when he gets to his collection point...
That is a serious problem.
A van is in the loading bay, which is shared by other companies.
Whoa, it's not just one, it's 2. I don't fancy driving back round again.
But he's got no choice.
I'm now going to have to drive back around to get back in there. Hey-ho. Never mind, eh?
That means circumnavigating Piccadilly Circus.
Absolute bedlam. Freak
fucking joke.
An hour later, he's back.
You would not believe that there's now a different security wagon in there. Guess what, kids?
It's back round again.
So how do you fancy seeing London for the 8th time?
More than 2 hours of driving round later.
This is about the 9th time I've come down here.
And it's good news.
And breathe, relief, smile.
The bay's free, so it's just a case of loading the last of the lights. And it's all been done before the 6 p.m. deadline.
Another on-time delivery for Stobart's.
And there's even time for Lee to get special access to the roof, where the world-famous lights used to hang.
You can see Eros, the main fountain that pretty much everybody comes to when they're sightseeing in London, so it's pretty mad being up here, looking down onto all them. It's days like this when you just love working for Stobart's. You just wouldn't be doing this otherwise. How many people can say they've been up on the lights of London? Brilliant. Fantastic.
Coming up, the Haulage giants get ready for their biggest ever event, a Stobart-themed festival in the East Midlands.
So basically, we've got to prep the trucks to the immaculate standard that everybody expects them to be.
But will trucker Tim Fox make it?
This isn't the time that I want it to turn around and bite me in the ass. Stobart Fest won't wait for me.
Eddie Stobart is arguably the most famous haulage firm in Britain. They have a loyal members club of over 20,000 people. In previous years, the firm has taken part in Truck Fest, a festival of all things trucking. But for the first time in their history, this year they've decided to put on their very own show for the spotters. And rather originally, they've called it Stobart Fest.
It should be a laugh, I suppose. It's a bit different, isn't it?
The man in charge, Special Projects Manager Neil Burden. He was initially expecting up to 1,000 spotters.
What we want to try and do is make it so they can actually touch and feel the trucks, they can actually get up close to them.
They love it, you know, and it's all for them, really. You know, it's all for the public, so.
But demand for the free tickets has been so big, the venue has moved from Stobart's Crick Depot in the East Midlands, 20 miles north to Rockingham Racetrack.
It sort of went from 1,000 to 4,000 and the panic sort of struck and think, what we're going to do here, we need to find a bigger venue. If we don't get this day right, it could really backfire on us.
It may be a day for the fans, but the company is thinking ahead.
The type of people I would like to see is young families and try to put the message over that the haulage industry is a job of the future.
So as well as trucks, there'll be truckers. And the first to arrive at the Crick Depot to get their vehicles ready for tomorrow's show are Mark Dixon and his best mate, the ever-cheery Matt Eakins, who's been a Stobart driver for almost 4 years.
Yeah, we should have a few shenanigans. A couple of monkeys going to be there, and Mark's there, Lee's there.
Any of the youngsters that go, what you really want them to do is to become your next Mark Dixon or your Matt Eakins.
12 drivers will appear at the event, and in typical Stobart style, they'll have to look their best.
Obviously, some of us might have to have a shave.
I'm going to find out what these sunbeds are all about. Matt keeps going on and he tells me they're absolutely brilliant. You just go in, stand up and come out brown. So I'm going to take his word for it and give one a try.
Like a
Obviously, as you can see, look, it doesn't work.
But Mark needs to look good for his adoring fans.
Yeah, Mark's the #1 man. He's going to be on the centre stage.
But I have had the odd letter asking if I'm available and could they marry me.
But hands off, girls, Mark's not available. And as a birthday treat, he's bringing along his girlfriend and minder, Louise.
I never thought I'd be spending my birthday at Stobart Fest. Can I squirt this at you? No. All over your clean trousers. I've known Mark since we were teenagers, really. But I always thought he was really stupid, so I never really spoke to him that much. You missed a bit.
With the festival tomorrow, Mark goes for his celebrity sunbed session, and Matt focuses on the big day.
Tomorrow's going to be a bit mental. There's about 11 trucks going in total. So some are here now, and we've got some others that are still out doing their everyday duties. They're still plotted around the country and struggling to get back to the yard. Rocking and rolling, huh?
Another driver who is high up on the spotters' list of favourites is still on the road.
It's going to be a long, hard day leading up, because everything's leading to Stobart Fest now. My day now is geared up to getting there on time, because every minute's precious today.
So he's up against the clock.
If I get held up too much, I'm going to be late. There's a lot of people to ring, 2,000-3,000 Stobart fans, saying, don't come till 11, Tim's not there yet, he's been delayed.
43-year-old Stobart driver Tim Fox has been a trucker for 25 years.
And it's hard work, very hard work, but it's still a fantastic job. Yeah, it's in the blood.
And as part of the firm's environmental division, known as Biomass, he's one of the hardest working drivers on the road.
That's the life of a biomass driver, you don't stop. The other drivers, they're just driving up to Rockingham and Corby, getting the trucks all sorted. That's that way. I'm heading that way. Still learning.
Before Tim can hook up with Matt and Mark, he's got a drop-off and a pick-up.
Tight day today. We can do it, provided nothing goes wrong.
Starting in Grantham, Tim's got a 330-mile round trip. First, a drop of waste paper at a recycling plant in Aylesford. Then he collects wood chip from a farm in Barnet. Then on to Crick to swap his biomass truck for a brand new one to go on show. The last leg, a 20-mile hike to Rockingham near Kettering. It's a long haul, but Tim wouldn't miss the festival for the world.
It's a chance for the fans to get close to the trucks, close to the drivers. Anything that shines in a good light for haulage has got to be a good thing. Because haulage isn't the most popular industry. I think we're just below estate agents.
As he approaches Aylesbury, it's looking good.
Just hope now we can get in, nice clean tip, sign up and get out nice and quick.
And the drop runs like clockwork.
Stobart Fest waits for no man though, so onwards and upwards.
Back on the road, Tim's thoughts turn to who's the spotter's #1 driver.
Watch out, Mark, I'm coming for you. I wanna be like Mark Dixon. I want to be #1. I'll be in Mark and Matt's shadow. If I can hang on to their coattails, get a little bit of stardust off them, I'll be happy with that.
But if he wants a slice of the action, he'd better get a move on.
Yeah, this is the one place now where it could put a bit of a dent in my day.
He's picking up 25 tonnes of wood chip from a remote farmyard he's never been to.
Worst case is it's going to be an absolute nightmare to get in. You can lose half an hour easy just trying to get the wagon in and out. Some of them were that bad. Stobart Fest won't wait for me. If there isn't a plan B, that's it.
We'll see later if Tim makes the event. 75 miles away in Northamptonshire, the car park of Rockingham Speedway is being transformed. A marquee is going up in preparation for tomorrow's Stobart Fest.
We've just laid a floor, put in a shop and set out all the merchandise.
They might be a haulage company, but merchandise brings in over £400,000 a year. So promotions manager Andrew Kidd is hoping for a big turnover tomorrow.
We would expect in the excess of £20,000 to £40,000.
As well as a wide range of clothing. They've got everything on offer from pens to mugs, umbrellas to chocolate bars, and what every trucker needs, branded meerkats.
We're hoping to have a busy day. It'll be hard work, but it should be very rewarding.
4 miles down the road at Stobart's chilled depot in Corby, the show trucks are gathering to be cleaned.
There's 5 of us parked up now, so yeah, things are starting to come together quite nicely as it goes.
And as more arrive from making drops round the country, it's Craig Chambers, the wash manager, who has his work cut out.
Gas truck needs doing. Drag's been done, we'll just have to check it. Tanker needs doing. So basically we've got to prep the trucks to the immaculate standard that everybody expects them to be. A lot of polishing, ladder level.
I'll have a wander up there and just have a look at that.
And when project manager Mick Ellibert inspects Craig's work, he's impressed.
Superb, man. Can't fault that. Top job. Yeah, it's a cracking job, that. Job for life there, no?
Yeah.
Craig won't rest until the drivers can eat their dinner off their trucks.
You notice they've actually polished in between all of the tread. So they've really gone to town on this. It looks absolutely gleaming. It's spotless.
I do take a lot of pride in it. I've been here 18 years working for Stobart's, and I treat them like my own vehicles, so I just want them right. They have to be right. Proper in the middle there, mate. And,
What we are then. OK, cheers, thanks.
With all vehicles clean and all drivers except Tim Fox present, time to head to the venue.
need to hurry up and get there, get parked up, get a few bits and pieces sorted out, and then we can call it a day. Woohoo!
But as the trucks park up, something's not right.
No. It's not very good. There's one or two wagons that side. As you can see, the debris too close to the Pirelli vehicle, so that needs to come down a little bit, and so on and so forth. That one's a bit skew width. So, yeah, we've got to do a little bit of adjusting here and there, but we'll get there, mate, we'll get there.
So to meet the company's exacting standards, that means measuring the gaps between trucks.
That works for me.
So time for a quick rejig of the monster machines. But as one problem's solved, another starts as the sky darkens.
This rain that's just come is really frustrating. There's a lot of people put a lot of effort and hard work in for the whole project today, and it's soul destroying when you see the heavens open.
The downpour means the trucks will need to be repolished.
Tomorrow means up earlier and more work. Another day, let's get on with it. Let's do it.
Whilst the rain has forced Craig and the drivers to call it a day, Tim Fox is still hard at it. He's just about to pick up 25 tonnes of wood chip from a farm, but needs to make a tricky 180-degree reverse.
As somebody once said at some point in time, I'm sweating like a glass blower's arse.
Tim's 25 years of trucking experience comes into play.
It's just that blind reverse. It's very blind, you can't see a lot.
He's in, so his trailer is loaded up with recycled wood, which will be burnt as fuel in green power stations.
That's that on.
Now his trailer is 25 tonnes heavier and sitting on uneven ground.
And hope that the trailer's going to come with me. Come on, baby. Come on, 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 come on. Come on, sweetheart. You can do it. Sweaty now. Not like this. She's out. See?
Job done. Next stop, Crick, to pick up the show truck for the festival.
Yeah, I don't want to see brake lights.
Tim started at 5 a.m. and could only legally drive for 10 hours in a day, so he's running out of drive time, which could result in a fine or even prosecution.
This isn't looking good now.
Now on the M1, he hits trouble. It's gridlock, and he's still 30 miles from Crick.
I didn't want to see this.
Tim might not be able to drive his new truck to Rockingham.
This isn't the time that I want it to turn around and bite me in the ass.
Then, after half an hour, the congestion slowly starts to ease.
Here we go, look at that.
He's cutting it fine, but he soon has the Crick depot in his sights, where he's swapping his truck for a show truck.
So we'll get into the yard now, see if we can find this truck that we're picking up. That'll be the easy bit, you can't miss it, it's a big thing with biomass written all over it. Stobart Fest, here we come.
But it's not going to be that simple.
I can't see the trailer. It's looking like it might have snuck out, it might have escaped through the fence or something. They've hidden it. Don't like you can hide something, it's 50-odd foot long. Well, they've hidden it somewhere. Not here. It's not over there. It could be across round near the garage at the back. It's not on the front there. Just have a quick look round the back of the garage, just make sure you know it's parked against the fence at the back. If it's not there, then someone find somebody. If they know where it is. No. Pull me tripe out all day for nothing.
If anyone should know, it'll be the boys in the central office.
Cole, do you know anything about that?
But they're equally as baffled. A couple of phone calls later, and they discover it's already gone.
That's Matt Eakins. He took it across to Rockingham this morning.
I'm leaving mine here.
Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Matt has already driven the truck to Rockingham.
All right. Somebody, just miscommunication somewhere. I'm not getting angry. It happens. Suck it up, get on with it.
Without a truck, Tim has to wait for a lift to take him 20 miles to Rockingham. Coming up, will the festival be a hit?
If only 1,000 turn up, I think we'll have a bit of red face.
And there's a big surprise in store for one young spotter.
We're going to Stobart first.
Are we?
Yes.
No, we're not.
We are.
Yesterday, the elite of the fleet arrived at Rockingham Racetrack ready for Stobart Fest, rolling up for the fans to feast their eyes on the Formula One truck, a horse box, a curtain cider and a tanker. But with a last-minute venue change, nobody knows how many people will come. Stobart's Carlisle depot, 5 a.m, the morning of the festival. A Stobart coach is waiting to take 21 early risers and hardcore spotters the 300 miles to the event.
All right.
And 6-year-old Mark Musgrave has got a huge surprise in store.
Would you like to go on the bus?
How can we?
Because we're going to Stobart first.
Are we?
Yes.
No, we're not.
We are.
Oh, that's it.
The will.
Joining him is Mum and Auntie.
He thought we were going out for breakfast with my sister. He was a bit surprised it was still dark, but we do nutty things. But he's going to be so excited when we get down there.
And Mark is keen to meet one trucker.
Who's your favourite?
Him.
He's got a favourite driver, which is Matt. I thought it was Mark, but it's Matt.
But first, there's a 5-hour journey in the 39-seater Stobart coach. Daybreak over Rockingham. Yesterday's rain has meant all the trucks have had to be cleaned again.
3 or 4 hours worth of polish you'd ruin overnight, but still.
Special Projects Manager Neil Burden is not convinced all the spotters have got news of the venue change.
If only 1,000 turn up, I think we'll have a bit of red face. Try and make it as enjoyable as you can for the people that's coming to see us, yeah.
At least they've got one excited young fan heading their way.
2 hours down, 3 hours left on the coach.
But the festival organisers needn't have worried. 6-year-old Mark will be joined by hordes of fellow enthusiasts.
Nobody will come. My goodness me, thousands of people. And it's only just like opened. And I've got to photograph them.
There's thousands of fans, but only one Dave Mulholland, official Stobart photographer.
Roll up, roll up. Have your photograph taken with the star? Not me.
They can get a special memento of the day.
They come to me, request a photograph with whatever driver, because it's the driver that's the big thing. They are then given the print, and then the driver will come and sign it, and they go away with a signed print today. That's the theory.
But he's got competition, the throng of fans queuing with their own cameras.
Big smiles. Marvellous, brilliant. If I don't get beaten up by the spotters today, I'll eat my heart, because I'm trying to put the little special ones that are paying for a special photo to slot in with the ones that have queued to get to see Mark. Okay. And they're going to beat me up. Come on, young lady. Come on with me.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Right, one quick one here. Big smiles, everybody. There you go.
And the drivers are just as snowed under. And that includes Tim, who's been reunited with his truck.
I'd never expected this, really didn't expect this.
It is absolutely bonkers.
Please,
Yeah?
please.
Whose birthday is it?
It's Sarah, my friend's.
The queue's right round the stadium now. It's mad, it's mad, it's mad.
I didn't expect it to be anything like this, so... yeah, it's a little bit crazy.
And Mark's public are certainly out in force.
Thank you.
Good boy. My teacher says when I'm older I want to be a truck driver for Eddie Stobart.
Come see Mark Dixon especially.
I want to get Mark Dixon's autograph. If I had to choose between Mark Dixon and JLS, I'd choose Mark Dixon.
I've not had a chance to go around anyone else to have a look at what their queue's like, but mine seems to be never-ending.
And the fans keep on coming. The Stobart coach carrying young spotter Mark has just arrived.
Eddie!
Where?
Up there!
Where's an Eddie?
Over there!
Where? Oh, look, yes, there's an Eddie.
And he gets a moment to remember when he meets his hero, Matt Eakins.
How you doing, boss? You all right?
Yeah?
Yeah? You jump in there.
And gets to sound Debbie's horn.
Is that all right? Yeah? Magic!
But there's one hot ticket all the spotters want to get their hands on.
Got sold a lot of raffle tickets. Very busy. Well over 1,000. Well over.
The lucky winner will go on an official delivery with Mark Dixon.
Yeah, I'll buy 6. It's £5. One of these will be the winning tickets.
But there is someone who could prove more popular than Mark, the haulage firm's CEO, Andrew Tinkler.
I'll come back out in 5 minutes. I've just got to go in the shop, yeah? Yeah, I like your top. Smart, that top.
But unlike Mark, he's a behind-the-scenes man.
Very good.
So he takes refuge at the back of the shop.
Busy. I'm tired, my hand's tired. Just come round here to have a break. I think there's probably, I don't know, 5,000 to 6,000 people here today. You know, you don't get that many people sometimes coming to pop concerts, so it's quite unbelievable, really.
And with the shop doing a roaring trade, Andrew mucks in.
Could I help you, sir?
Hello there. Can I help, please?
2 of the cushions. All right, cheers. I hope you get some really good night's sleep on them.
Stobart's annual turnover is almost £500 million, so Andrew is more accustomed to dealing in bigger sums of money.
Right, that is £24.99. Stick to my day job, I would say.
Outside, the drivers have been signing non-stop for 5 hours.
Just looking forward to a cup of tea and sit down for 5 minutes, you know?
All these people here are waiting for Mark.
I think the other drivers should come give me an hand. I've still got a massive queue.
It's not just Mark who's getting all the attention.
What do you do then? What do you...
I'm just Mark's girlfriend. You know, you just get recognised wherever we go.
There you go, mate.
Cheers. When he knew he was coming here on the morning, he went on the sunbed, so he had a nice tan. He had his hair done, and he probably had a whole host of other things done to him that I don't know about, such as manicure and pedicure.
My fingers are killing.
And it's the moment everyone's been waiting for. Raffle time.
Pink number 281.
On.
Hooray! Yeah, pink 281. No, perfect. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoy. Are you going with Mark? Or...
Yes,
yeah, that's very good. That'll go
I've won a delivery with Mark Dixon. Oh, nice one.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You'll never get a chance like that to go on a delivery with a Stobart driver.
Lucky winner Sam will get her trip of a lifetime with Mark in a few weeks.
No worries.
After 8 hours of non-stop Stobart Fest, the figures are in, and it's impressive. Almost 7,000 fans paid homage to their favourite trucks and truckers. Photographer Dave snapped almost 500 personalised photos. More than 1,000 raffle tickets were bought, and in the shop, 700 model trucks, 400 cushions and towels, and 200 branded meerkats were sold. And it's estimated the 12 drivers on show signed more than 20,000 autographs. So, with the shop shelves empty, the satisfied spotters start making their way home.
It's just been a really good day and seeing all the drivers and everything.
Hopefully they'll do another Stobart Fest and I'll come back.
Fantastic day. One of the best days, one of the most tiring days, but one of the best days I've had in a long time.
Hi.
I'm done. I'm not done.
But who signed the most autographs?
Me and my brother from another mother, old Mr Dixon over the other side. Yeah, we probably signed about the same.
Thousands. I don't know.
I've done about 4,000 autographs. I'm like that now. My hand's knackered. My legs, I feel about 3 foot tall.
2, 3, 4,000, I don't know. It's just been a reflex action.
With the crowds gone, time for one last photo.
Right, give us a big cheer, boys. Go on. Done. Day over.
Next week on Eddie Stobart Trucks and Trailers. Tramper Tim Fox battles high winds in his biomass truck.
It's like a ride on a fairground.
And Stobart takes to the skies at London Southend Airport.
This morning we have had an aircraft change.
But it's boarding chaos for their check-in team.
I need to put one of you on the flight now because that needs to go.